Alright, you already know the drill. It is your boy Jet. We're going to be talking about My Villain Academia. If you guys like the video, make sure you guys go ahead and decay that like button, turn on the bell so you never miss another upload. 100% stress output that like button, and make sure you use Sad Man's Parade to share the video. But without further ado, let's go. Alright, so I want to start off this video by saying congratulations to Studio Bones for breaking the world record for the fastest adaptation of an arc. Studio Bones managed to take 22 chapters and condense it down to 3, soon to be 4 episodes of MVA. So everyone, please give Studio Bones a round of applause for such an amazing accomplishment. Congrats, Studio Bones, congratulations. But Studio Bones' speedrun of MVA was just perfect. The way they cut out scenes, dialogue, and character development was executed flawlessly, and next week will be episode 23 and the end of MVA, and honestly I can't wait, not only so we can go ahead and close the chapter on this poorly adapted MVA, but I kind of want to see what this last episode of MVA is, because not gonna lie, from the preview it kind of looks good, but will it save MVA? No, it won't. But let me go ahead and talk about the actual episode. This episode was a step in the right direction. This episode was not bad at all. I actually enjoyed this episode, surprisingly. This episode was better than the previous MVA episodes, but it wasn't up to the standards that I'm used to seeing from Bones. But I am glad that this episode was faithful to the adaptation of the manga. And surprisingly enough, the animation in this episode was good. While it still had the few rare occasions of still frames, overall the animation was not bad, it was solid. But there was still the occasional still frames where they could have added some animation. And listen, I'm not complaining about the still frames in this episode because we could have had it worse. I mean, look at the Mirio fight. It was basically a slideshow. Bones looked at that fight and was just like... But this episode was calm. In this episode, they did Twice's backstory pretty well. From a voice acting and music side, it did its job by making me feel bad for my favorite Deadpool clone, or double in this case. The Sad Man's Parade in this episode was done pretty well. It had a nice mix of CGI and animation, and honestly, from looking at Sad Man's Parade in the manga, I knew that they were going to CGI it, and I was hoping, dear God, they wouldn't do a Berserk 2016. And I also really like how lively the Twice clones were. They just weren't a bunch of clones. They were talking, they were being goofy and crazy, they were on rooftops dancing and twerking. Overall, Twice's segment of this episode was done pretty good. Now let's move on from Twice to Dabi, specifically Dabi versus Getten, and there was no extended Sakuga. As much as I wished for them to extend this fight because it was pretty short in the manga, it did not get the extended Sakuga that it so desperately needed. But to be fair, I didn't really expect them to extend it. I mean, it's Bones after all, season 5, they don't really do all that, but it would have been so cool to see them flex their animation skills for like an extra 30 seconds, just an extra 30 seconds of just fire and ice just colliding with each other. If this fight got extended Sakuga, oh my god, that John would have made me nuts. But for the most part, Dabi versus Getten had some solid animation, but imagine if they just went all out with the Sakuga. Oh yeah, and I just remembered, last episode they didn't even use Curious's theme, which is a banger if you have not listened to it, but for some reason they decided to use it for Trumpet in this episode. I mean, I'm not complaining, it's a fire theme, and I definitely recommend you guys listen to it. It's called Mine Woman. Also, the scene in the tower was pretty good with Reed Destro, Garen Twice. That was pretty good. And the Shigaraki clone was dodging Reed Destro. That was some solid animation that they honestly didn't need to put in there. It could have been some still frames, but they didn't. They animated it, and it's honestly making me wish that they did that for other scenes in this arc. Even the part where Shigaraki completely decayed the tower, that was dope. Everything in the episode was pretty solid. While not perfect, it was better than what we were getting with the previous MVA episodes. But then we got to the end where Shigaraki came face to face with Reed Destro, and yeah, this is unexcusable. Shigaraki, what did they do to you, my man? My boy Shigaraki in this scene in the anime looks like he got hit with that. This is not the League of Villains leader that I know. I am more threatened by a plastic spoon than this bozo right here. My man isn't even fully loaded into the anime. He's still hitting that. I mean, look at the manga version. It's night and day between the two. I know anime is a different medium and it can't really replicate manga art on a one-to-one scale, but like, come on. this isn't even trying. But some other things about this episode. The voice acting was good, as it always has been within all of MHA, including this season. The voice acting was good. The music was great. I really love the music. Mind Woman, a great OST that should have been used last episode, but it's okay. I like it when I hear it. The animation picked up in this episode. I'm really surprised. Overall, this episode was pretty solid. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't like a top 10 episode, but it's definitely the best episode of MVA that we've gotten, and probably some episodes of Endeavor Agency minus the Origin Trio versus Ending. While this episode was good, we know that Bones can do better, and they are taking the right step, alright? The first 2 episodes of MVA were garbage. This episode is taking the step to being better, to the MVA that we should have gotten, and next episode looks like it's about to be some fire, but it's not gonna be fire enough to save the dumpster fire that was MVA. Overall, solid episode. It's making its improvements. If you guys like the video, like, subscribe, share, do all that, and we're on the road to 5K. Let's go. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.